Fortune Street! Hello everyone, welcome back to some more filler content, Fortune Street edition. I'm your host, as always, the 12th Kind, and it has been for goddamn ever. Oh my god, that me is outdated. Jesus Christ. Guest. Oh. Oop, no. Yeah, sure, I guess. Well, I've been fans of the series since 1991. What was, easy rules? Build them up. Oh, okay, so standard rules gives us the ability to do that. Okay. Tour mode, the aim is complete. All the tours. Free play mode. Configure, save and quit. I guess it was free play that we did. I think. Or was it, No, I think it was a free play. I'm pretty sure. The thing is, and this is a little embarrassing. Maybe not, because it's actually me. But it has been so goddamn long since I've recorded anything about Fortune Street, much less like uploaded. Yeah, it's been almost 2 years. A little under 2 years. My god. So let me, actually, you know what? I'm gonna check this video. We're doing this together. This is filler content. So it's not like my usual, you know, I'm prepared kind of shit. Okay, yeah, we've just been doing, free play. Okay. So, in that case, Mario, Luigi, Yoshi. Sure. Okay, with this group of characters, yes. So we did Ghost Ship, and now it's time for Slimenia. Yeah, useless settings. It's kind of interesting that the difficulty is based off of the character and not like, you don't set the difficulty. It's just like some characters are naturally better than others, which is like, what the fuck? I think if you're playing with friends, you can actually play something other than your Mii. Yoshi. Also, it's like I can't even edit my Mii if I wanted to, because the homebrewing method, which I totally forgot I had homebrewed the Wii side of my Wii U. It used the hack Mii, and so I don't have access to the Mii channel. It's just like for like the sole purpose of homebrew. Oh god, okay. Well, I guess red will be my turf. But But yeah, I have no idea how to sort of restore that. I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to look up like homebrewing for Wii U on like the Wii side, and check to see if there's like any tools that like restore the Mii channel, because I think it would be nice to finally be able to edit my Mii, or at least make a brand new one. But yeah. Oh, you know, I just literally the thought only just now came to me. 77 play 5 of a district stock. Brain, I swear to God. I'm sorry. It has been so long since I've like really like sat down and like tried to record videos regularly. And that's because I have been very busy with grad school and work. Work itself has just been a nightmare. I feel like if I wasn't working and just doing grad school, I'd probably have the you know, the energy, the mental capacity to be able to record videos regularly. But unfortunately, you know, pun intended, sometimes you just roll the dice and it gives you a bad outcome. Roll the die again and move forward. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I thought I was gonna get a roll again. Yeah, I'll buy that shop. I think the best play is to like get one of the teleports and then get all the ones around the bank. But I could be wrong. But yeah, you know, unfortunately, I have bills to pay. You know, I've got, you know, I've got my phone bill, and I've got, you know, my credit card bills, and I got my PO box. And I've got a couple other things, so, you know, it's just how life is. You know, you win some, you lose some. In this case, I won access to grad school, but I lost the ability to make videos. You know, I did get some stuff recorded last semester and like this semester, but it wasn't like enough to be able to like start releasing. And then on top of that, I was working on completely remaking my website on an independent hosting service, so like not WordPress. Which unfortunately WordPress has like such a super like limited like refund window, and they don't even do partial refunds. So like if you paid like for a year up front and then like 2 months in you're like, you know, I want to take my business elsewhere, they're like, no, you can't. And it's like, what the fuck do you mean I can't? And it's just like, no, I don't think you get that money. It's like, I paid for a whole year. Yeah. And I only used like the service for 2 months. Yeah. So should you refund me the last 10 months? No. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Oh, hate it so much. But, you know, c'est la vie. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well. I'm gonna have these come out like probably once a week. Probably have them be like a Friday thing. Until I have enough of a backlog that I feel like I can start releasing content Yeah, I'll stop there. For 5 times its value? No. That sounds like a very dumb idea. I don't want to do that. Ah, stockbroker. I was really hoping he'd land on mine so I could have some monies. Oh, but they'll land on Yoshi. God damn it, Luigi. I think also, so like, I've done the trailer for, the next main Let's Play. I haven't done the trailer for the side Let's Play, and I still want to do that. And like, also because I haven't done the trailer, I hadn't made the intro. But the more I think about it, the more, oh, fuck yeah. So does that mean I get 2 suits? Hell yeah, of course. Hell. Yeah. But, what was this? Oh, yeah. So I hadn't made the trailer. So I, because I haven't decided on the music for the Ghost Recon trailer, and by extension, the music for the intro. But I think what I'm going to do is, once I get that taken care of, the trailer and the intro, and I have enough of a backlog, I will start releasing them. I'm gonna have them release on my website first, and then I will be releasing them on my YouTube channel probably like a week or so later. So that means that y'all get an extra week of Fortune Street. But that does mean you have to wait for the Let's Plays. And the whole reason is because I want to kind of wean myself off of YouTube and try to like get more traffic towards my own website that is just my own content. And, you know, sort of the biggest reason behind that has been just like my growing dissatisfaction with YouTube. You know, I'll be honest, I've been paying for YouTube Premium. I just really like it. I like being able to like have the downloaded videos on my phone and not having to deal with ads on my phone. If anyone, by the way, if anyone has any recommendations for like phone-wide ad blockers for iOS, please leave it down in the comments. Let's see. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna invest in my own district. Yeah, I'm gonna do 10. And I'm gonna encroach on your turf. But yeah, so, you know, I think the biggest thing for me, and I've really got to witness this at work, where the our YouTube channel for work that we also use to like put on music and shit does not have YouTube Premium, and because of that we have to deal with a lot of ads, some of which may not necessarily be work appropriate, which is extremely frustrating, especially considering how strict YouTube has gotten with its creator guidelines, but not their like fucking ad guidelines. It's a joke, really. It is a tragedy. The story of YouTube is. Why did I say it like Yoda? A tragedy. The story of YouTube is. Yes. And Luigi also, or not Luigi, fucking God. Yoshi gets a promotion. Give me your $20, Yoshi. And I also get $4 in dividends. Alright. Let's see. Is he gonna roll him? No, I don't think he rolled him. No, he did. Oh, fuck yeah. I knew that was a good idea. I just need the other two shops, and then I have a monopoly on Bank Street. But yeah, so, you know, like, I feel, oh, God. Of course he would do that. Of course Mario would cock block me like that. Can I... Okay, So I would land there. Or I would land there. Either mess with Luigi or Luigi. Now, but if I go north, I could potentially get in on that other action. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yes, I would like to buy that shop. But yeah, you know, I understand that a lot of my viewers and a lot of my subscribers, that are still around, which, by the way, I fucking love you guys. I have not uploaded anything in like a year. I've had setback after setback, and I have just like continuously made, you know, little update posts that are like, hey, this is what's going on, I'm really sorry. And like a few of you have like piped into the comments of like those posts being like, hey, it's okay, you know, you can take your time, we'll always be here. And like, I really appreciate that. Like, from the bottom of my cold, dead fucking heart, thank you. You know, and you know, just like y'all like sticking around is been like super helpful, and I have felt like immensely blessed, and I'm very much grateful for you know, all of the support and the patience that y'all have, you know, given me. You know, you've given me so much grace with this. And I don't think I could like sit here and say the same things over and over and over again, because I just really struggle with words sometimes when it comes to just speaking without a script. I do much better with a script, but I think that just goes to show how much I appreciate y'all, that I'm kind of stumped for words. Oh, I'm being sucked off somewhere. Ah, okay. I'll get one thing I need. Interesting. All right. But yeah, I'm just super grateful for y'all. I truly am. Yoshi, you son of a bitch. Ah, all right. I can't believe he got that. Wow, so rude. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna just move on to another topic. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be lost for words. But I will say, like, one last time, like, thank you guys so much. 3. Yes. Nothing happens upon landing. Darn. I guess I'll go over to Yoshi, because I kind of wanted to be back going that direction anyways. It's your turn, Yoshi. But yeah, so kind of jumping off from that topic and going back to the website. Even though I've been talking about it a lot and been pushing it, and like even doing like staggered releases where the website is moving forward going to get the videos first and then YouTube will. I do understand that, if y'all want to stay on YouTube because, it's like just more convenient for you, I totally understand. I completely, truly do understand. I've been, that's just been something I've been kind of wondering. I've been like, oh man, I'm not sure. But, at the end of the day, I kind of want to listen to my heart more and do more of what my heart wants. And, what my heart wants at the end of the day is to have a space that reminds me of, those not necessarily easier times in my life, but a time in my life that I see with like rose-tinted glasses. A time that when I think back on it, I think I felt maybe, possibly, more joy. If not more joy, then the internet felt safer. There's something to be said about the lack of third spaces in the real world. And there's also a lack of third spaces in the realm of the internet. We, like us, those of us who are, adults on the internet who have been here for a while, some may say a hot minute, But you know, it used to be that shit, I need a spade. All right. You know, it used to be that kids had kid specific places, and that's where, you know, the kids would be. Things like, you know, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney, they all had sites with Flash games on them. And, you know, they were basically like parent approved. You know, if your kid was on the internet, you probably, you know, had a safe bet that they were on, you know, a family-friendly channel. Now, of course, it wasn't perfect. You know, a lot of parents, you know, didn't monitor their kids' internet access that closely. You know, my parents didn't, but also they had like a great deal of trust in my sister and I, to like some extent. We're not going to get into specifics, but, you know, one of the biggest things that they cared about was, you know, are we being safe? And like, even now to some extent, you know, my mom kind of worries of like, you know, are you being safe on the internet? And that, seeing that, how that like sort of mentality has changed over, you know, the past God knows how long, it's been concerning. I'll be honest. Extremely concerning. You have these kids that are on Twitter, Instagram, fucking TikTok, and, you know, I might be a boomer for saying this. You can call me a fucking boomer till you're blue in the face. I do not give a shit. But, you know, something that I'm very much a boomer about is that, you know, kids, you know, especially if they aren't even 13, because 13, believe it or not, is the minimum age enshrined in every like fucking like terms of use, terms and conditions fucking thing. You know, a lot of social media sites are like, hey, you have to be at least 13, but there are some people who let their kids that are much younger than 13 get access to these sites. And, you know, it is, you know, if I had to wager a guess, I would have to say it's because of the lack of third spaces, you know. They're not as well known. If you go to, you know, like Disney's website, it's just a giant, boring, like, billboard ad of like, hey, download Disney Plus, watch our shows and movies, and it's kind of soulless. You know, there's something to be said about the gentrification of the internet. But man, it's not great. It's not great. I'm not the first to say it, but I'll keep saying it. I don't think the situation is great regarding the internet. I think, you know, there has to... I think we've gone too far with the internet. And by we, I mean, like, how like companies have started treating the internet. It used to be a place of like self-expression, of connection, of community. But nowadays it just feels bland. It all feels the same. It's with AI on the rise, there's more and more just slop posted online. If you encountered shitty things on like things that were of shit quality on the internet, at least you knew like there was an actual like human being behind that garbage. If you saw like a photo that had been edited to show that the Nephilim from the Bible were real and helped the Egyptians make the pyramids, at least you knew there was that. At the very least, you could theoretically call that a work of art, just because of the fact that it was made by a human being with intent, with emotion, But now it's just AI. It was just like AI images, and now it's AI videos as well. And also, like, I think we got a side tangent. It's kind of weird how people have gotten so quick to attribute anything and everything to being made by AI, especially if they don't understand like what it is that they're looking at. It's... Are you fucking kidding me? I'm never gonna escape this goddamn island. Everyone but my shops have been closed. Fuck you. But yeah, so it's just man, modern day internet is just real fucking depressing, and I really wish it wasn't, but I think there is some hope. There's a very slowly growing trend of people making their own websites from scratch, especially if they're using independent services like NeoCities. I'm sure there are others, but NeoCities is the only real example I can think of. Zoom over to any Venture or Suit Square. Well... Oh, the bank doesn't count. Okay. Alright, sure, why not? Well, we got number 59. Would you like to buy stock at 10% below? Yes. District A. Oh my god, 25. Jesus Christ. See. You know what? I think that would actually be good. Because I'm assuming Yoshi is going to buy that other property, and then that's going to raise the stock value eventually, or I will eventually buy that last property. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. When it comes to the current state of the internet, I'm not sure. You know, like a lot of other people, I am very much convinced that at some point we are going to have another .com bubble burst event. You know, and the reason why is just because you have these companies that are trying to, you know, get more and more and more and more and more fucking money out of people. And, you know, that's the problem with, you know, the whole concept of capitalism when it comes to the internet, is just this infinite growth. And, you know, how do you do infinite growth with, you know, like something like the internet, where once you've made you know, a pretty extensive service, what do you do then? Well, you lock some of it behind a paywall, and then you charge for that paywall more and more and more and more until eventually, you know, they just people just don't have the fucking money anymore. You know, it's just, I miss when the internet had charm, I guess is what it is at the end of the day. You know, I really, you know, there was a charm to the internet. The internet had identities attributed to it, you know. Twitter was this really, you know, cool microblogging site with a fun white and blue, you know, color scheme. You know, Tumblr was this Wild West indie blogging, pseudo blogging site. And like to some extent that charm is still there for Tumblr. I've been on it since before they redid how reblogs are displayed on people's dashboards. And you can see the old layout, like in Boom Square, receive rate, okay. In old screenshots of like Tumblr posts that are like still floating around and look crusty as fuck. But yeah, it's just you know, like YouTube for the longest time, its slogan was broadcast yourself. It was a site where people, you know, individuals or groups of friends could post whatever the fuck they wanted and share it with the world at no cost, which was kind of unheard of. What's this? Free video hosting? And I can send a link to anyone and they can see it, no problem. You don't have to worry about paying hosting costs. You didn't have to worry about anything. You know, except for trolls. You know. But you know, I feel like I forgot a point. Oh, yes. You know, as part of that whole, like, you know, it is your sort of like own identity, you could customize your YouTube channel to hell and back. And I remember, you know, the old YouTube channel layout where you could put like a whole background image, you could change the color scheme. If you were a partner, you could, you know, have a banner with like little like clickable spots on it. You know, that was like the dream, was to be a part of a multi-channel network. So you could be YouTube partnered and you could have access to all the like those really cool customization tools. And you know, even to some extent, you know, the watch pages had like a charm to them, and I think that in part has to do with the fact that you know, it was a Flash player, you know. That's probably just like a rose tinted glasses thing, but you know, there used to be a time where if your video wasn't loading, you could no, I'm not that desperate. You could actually pause the video and wait until it buffered out the whole video. Like it loaded in the rest of the video, and then you could watch the rest of the video without interruptions. You know, there used to be a time where, you know, like nowadays people are familiar with the end cards and to some extent the info cards. Although I'm not entirely sure if those are still around. You know, because YouTube likes to just remove features. But you know, one of the things that they had like at the time of like the Flash player and the custom, you know, YouTube channels was, you know, they had these things called annotations, you know, like little like web things that you would have on your video that you could add in after the video was uploaded, and you could put them anywhere on the screen and at any time. And so because of that, people got really, really creative with you know, how they handled using the annotations, how they integrated it within the videos they were making. I almost said content. Because you're not... Isn't that dystopian? Isn't that a little fucked up? That we've gone from saying, oh yeah, I upload videos online, or I upload my art online, or, you know, I upload photography online. Now we just say, oh yeah, I make content. Books have content. Textbooks have content. Magazines have content. Why the fuck are we describing what we do as content? It's not content, you know, it's art. And I think that sort of like idea of like, oh, I'm making content has And this idea of like, oh, you can make money from content. Again, call me a boomer all you fucking want. I don't give a shit. But like, you know, I feel like even just 10 years ago, the internet just was better. It certainly didn't have the prevalence of AI, you know, which is a tie-in to like a past topic where I talked about how there's just so much AI garbage everywhere, you know, and I truly believe that the reason why people have just been like foaming at the mouth to use and abuse these AI tools to make content, said in italics, is because of how we've disconnected the creativity from what we post online. You know, it's no longer a post about your art. It is content you have uploaded to a site. That's wild. That's insane. And I know the video should have been over 15 fucking minutes ago. But I'm sorry, I've just been on this rant. You get an extra long fucking Fortune Street episode and it's just me screaming about the proletariats. Oh. Good God. It's wild out there. It truly is. I think all of this is to say that the current state of the internet, for me at least, is exhausting. You know, there's no soul. There's no joy. There's no identity. And worst of all, I think the prevalence of, you know, this sort of like instant connection that we all have with one another through the internet has kind of done us a disservice, because, you know, people have grown up on the internet, and, you know, I feel like people who have like solely grown up on the internet have not like socialized properly, and so, you know, because of that, they're just rude, you know. Which, you know, isn't to be like, oh, what a softy Callie is. It's not that at all. It's human decency. Human decency has become a rarity on the internet, and I think I honestly think it's because of the ubiquity of the internet. You know, I think it was a video essay, and I cannot remember for the life of me what the video essay was. Like what it was, who it was made by. Jesus Christ. But the thesis of it was that the internet used to be a place. You know, if you're as old as I am, and I'm 27, or if you're older than me, you know, you probably remember a time where you only had access to the internet at a specific location. Somewhere in your house. Hell, you probably only had access to the internet if you went to, like, the public library or when you went to school. Mario, how fucking dare you? I don't care. I think I get that money, don't I? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, I got that money. So you know what? Whatever. So you know what? Yeah, I'm kicking Yoshi out. I want to be in direct competition with Luigi and no one else. But you know, we didn't have, at least here in the States, we didn't have access to the internet in our pockets unless your family could afford a data plan. You know, my family was, you know, not so fortunate. You know, my first phone was a flip phone, and the only way to access the internet on your phone was to use cellular data, which I did not have a data plan. You could not connect it to Wi-Fi. Like, literally was not an option. And so because of that, I only had access to the internet, you know, when I was home or when I was at school. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Alright, what house am I not, or what business am I not attached to? Oh, Christ. Twice the value, 220 and 390. I want something like 490. I don't want Yoshi to get that, though. Yeah, let's sell this one. Starting price, 780. But yeah, you know. Wow, that was rude as hell. So rude. Oh my god. They were just like, no, I don't want this piece of shit building at 780. Get out of here. That's rude. I jest, of course. But yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, I'll be sitting there and I'll be on my phone watching YouTube, you know, checking Discord, scrolling through TikTok or Instagram ad nauseum, and I'll close an app and then I'll reopen it, and then I'll close it again and reopen it, and you know, every now and again I just stop and I wonder, what the fuck am I doing? You know? And I know I'm not the only one. Like, there have been other people that, you know, if they've gone through the whole thing of how, you know, with their phone, with their smartphone, they feel like they've become even more disconnected from the rest of the world. And I don't blame them. There is some disconnect, you know. To use another personal example, you know, every weeknight, so Monday through Friday, at 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., my parents and I gather in the living room and we watch 2 episodes of Hogan's Heroes. Recently we've been watching them on DVD. We've gone through the whole series twice on DVD, actually. And we're about to go through it a third time. But we went to DVD because otherwise it's only available to watch through a television network called MeTV, Memorable Entertainment Television. And their service over the past year and a half has been super spotty. And to use like a streaming service, it's not on any of like the streaming services that like my parents pay for. And so they really didn't want to have to pay for another streaming service. But then we found the whole show on DVD. You know, my dad got like a season here, a season there, until we had the entire run of the show. And so, you know, we just boot up the DVD player, pop a DVD in, and play the next episode. You know? But like even then we can't get away from the enshittification of the internet, and by extension our devices as well. Because I remember here's some context. I remember a time where you got a DVD player and all it did was play DVDs. Right? Well, this DVD player that we have, which had to replace a DVD player that broke, it has apps. Thankfully it doesn't require, but it wants an internet connection so you can download apps that use the internet. Again, this is a DVD player. You know? And nowadays we have you know, it's impossible to get a TV that doesn't have smart features. My TV that I am looking at right now has smart features, of which I probably only used 1 or 2. If we're being perfectly honest. I've only used them once. I used the YouTube app once or twice. The Spotify app once. The internet-based television service that is provided, you know, cable but internet. Um, but it has apps. It demands internet access. It has Netflix, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, HBO Max, all those apps pre-installed. And there are buttons for them on my remote. Now, I have another TV that I use as a second display for my MacBook. And, you know, I use it because originally the speaker, like the whole audio processing of it just gave out. And my mom wanted to throw it away, and I was like, well, I need a new external display for my MacBook, so I'll just, you know, I'll take it in. I've still got my old Logitech speakers. I'll plug those into my MacBook as well, and I'll just use it as a second display. That TV, not a smart TV. You can give it an internet connection, sure, but that's only for shit like AirPlay or screen mirroring or whatever. And these TVs aren't that far apart in terms of like actual human years. I think there's only like a few years difference. You know, I got this TV in front of me before this other TV died. And I think my parents had that TV for a few years before its audio gave up the ghost. I don't know, man. I think it's wild. I think it's a little fucked up, if I'm being totally honest. Oh my god, did I win? Holy fuck, I won. Hell yeah. I'm good at gambling. But yeah. You know, it didn't used to be that way. You know, I've got a TV in my bedroom, a small one. It used to be my mom's that she had out in her home office out in the backyard. But the screen was too small to be able to like get to see a clear picture from like across the office. And so she opted for a slightly larger HD TV, and I took her old TV and I put it in my bedroom because it was slightly bigger than the TV I got for my sister when like she moved out. But you know, I just you know, I think about how you know, the TV I have in my bedroom and then the TV I have in storage. Because one day I might need that TV, if I'm going to be honest. There's a possibility that at some point in the near future I might be moving, and honestly, I think it would moving and, you know, potentially moving to a smaller house and kind of having to try to redo my office again would give me sort of the opportunity to sell off these TVs and go back to the other two TVs. Because, yeah, they maxed out at like 720p, I think. They have been quite reliable TVs. They're sturdy. You know? They're encased in armor, for God's sake. But you know, the big thing is they don't have any apps. They don't require like an internet connection. Hell, there is no option to connect them to the internet. You know? These were like no later than 2016 TVs. I think my sister's TV was probably much older than that. Hell, we used to have a mini CRT that had like a VHS player in it. I fucking loved that thing. Unfortunately, I got sold at a garage sale, and I didn't realize until it was too late to speak up. I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to like find that TV in like a or not like that specific TV, obviously, but you know, up to 4 times its shop value. No. God, what was I gonna say? I completely forgot. Oh yeah, not that specific like TV, obviously, but you know, that model again. Because I have you know, I have some consoles here. Some pretty decently old consoles. I've got a Saturn, a Dreamcast, and an NES that you know, if I were to like use them for Let's Plays, I'd probably want to use the, you know, original video out options. And I do actually have a USB capture card that takes it's either composite or I think it's component, the red, white, and yellow cords. It takes those. And I think, you know, that'd probably be nice. Have that right next to, like, my other TV. Have, like, a nice little, like, setup or whatever. But, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just... I will admit that part of me is probably, like, stuck in the past. You know, a past time where I didn't have to worry about the rise of fascism and the crumbling of our society right before our very eyes. But yeah, I mean... man. Just don't know. At the end of the day, I truly just feel like I don't... Anyways, it's been an hour. God, that got real fucking depressing real fast. I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I've been at it for an hour. Thank you so much for watching. Next time on Fortune Street, we will be continuing on. So yeah, see you then. Bye-bye.